Good morning. My name is Susan Reardon. I'm the staff hearing officer, and I call the meeting of Wednesday, April 24th to order. First on our agenda is requests for continuances, withdrawals, postponements, or addition of ex-agenda items, and I have had none of those, so we will hear the item that's on the agenda. Under announcements and appeals, I have no announcements, and we've had no recent appeals. Is there anyone in the audience who would like to address the staff hearing officer on items not on today's agenda? Seeing no one, we'll go to the first item if the applicant would like to come up. It's 813 East Carrillo Street. Good morning.
Hi, Dale Azam with the Housing Authority of the City of Santa Barbara.
Okay.
Good afternoon, Ms. Reardon, Kelly Broadison, Associate Planner with Community Development. I'm here today to...
Are you on? Doesn't sound loud.
So. No. 10-4?
Now you are.
Okay. So I'm here today to present a request from this applicant, the Housing Authority of Santa Barbara, for a modification for a wall height. As you know, our zoning ordinances allows walls to go up to 8 feet along the side and rear property lines. You can go up to 12 feet with a minor zoning exception, and if you want to go above 12 feet, you have to apply for a modification. So in this case, due to the change in grade from the front of the property to the rear of the property, and the difference in grade between this subject site and the neighboring site, they are requesting a modification to have a combined retaining wall and fence to go up to 16 feet in some areas. And you can see here the change in grade is shown on the project site and then on the neighbor site. So on the neighbor site, it will only look like it's about a 6-foot wall or fence, so they won't see that. And on the project site, they'll see the retaining wall and the fence on top, so it'll be much higher on the project site. And they need it for privacy to the adjacent neighbors and also for safety.
You can point it out on the site plan. Reference. That's existing, or that's this is it. There's some areas
This is the highest point of the wall.
And here's some photos showing the existing situation, which is basically they'll be replacing the existing situation, but because, you know, they are actually officially putting in a wall and a fence, then we wanted to do it properly and make sure we notified the neighbors and bring it to a hearing. Oops, sorry. And bring it to a hearing for the public's noticing. And I'll let the applicant go ahead and make a presentation.
Sure, thank you. So this condition, as Kelly pointed out, already existed and was dealt with previously with sort of less formal way, you know. And this is going to be a more durable approach over time. Nothing's really changed. It's just that when the plans were reviewed earlier, there weren't call-outs for the fence heights. So there's really nothing that's changed. It's just got noticed that this wall height situation was there. The use of the retaining walls allows the development of the site in a way where the pad can be flat. We're going to end up with 17 units, 16 affordable for homeless veterans. And, you know, basically the retaining walls, the way they're designed, allows the development to fit in with the neighborhood. And I do have some other pictures that I can show you. This is a rendering. I'm not sure where is the best place to put it, but this is a rendering of what the completed project will look like. And in the yellow highlight is the project, and you can see that it's going to fit in very nicely with the surrounding uses. Because of the fact that there is that elevation change, we're not going to be towering over the neighbors, even though we do have 16 units back there. This is another one from the ABR presentation that basically shows you the height of the surrounding buildings in comparison to what we're building. So, as Kelly said, from the neighbor side of the fence, nothing's going to exceed 6 feet. It's only going to be on our side, and the height on our side will allow the property to function better and blend in with the neighborhood. As I looked at all of those conditions in the staff report, 1 and then 2A through D, I mean, I think there's an argument we meet all of those. I'm happy to talk about any or all of it. I also have photographs of what it looks like with the retaining wall. And so this is looking the other way to show we don't need that height on that side. On the this is at the back of the property, I think what you'd consider the north elevation, and then this is the actual retaining wall as it's built.
Okay, so on my understanding of what's going on is there's a combination of the design review, ABR, granting minor zoning exceptions, and then a combination of requested modifications, correct?
I believe so. I mean,
Because the wall exceeds 12 feet, they couldn't qualify for a minor zoning exception, so they had to get a mod. They had to pass for a mod.
So where on the property here? I could see the elevations. When I went out there, there was walls. I could see walls going.
Right.
But where exactly on here does it exceed 12?
it's in this section here. If you look at, and this was an exhibit to your write-up.
Oh, great, thank you.
You can see, that's pretty hard to read, but it's going to be in this zone where there's kind of a jog in the wall. Right here is going to be the only place where it exceeds the 12 feet.
So what I'm looking at is just a small section here today? And the design board would grant the MZE for the portion from 8 to 12?
I didn't process it as an MZ. Yeah, process the whole thing as a modification.
Okay, so I'm looking at all areas that exceed 8 feet in height.
Unless you think we should do it as
No,
an
that's
MZE.
fine.
Okay.
No, that's fine, because it got kicked into the mod realm because part of it,
I think this is in here too, that kind of larger,
okay,
further back.
okay, that's better. The X2. Yep, sure is. Okay, so here's the front. This is Creo Street then?
Correct.
Okay, and then it goes up and you can see, so pretty much right away, it's over, and then there's the highest part, okay. And then east, north. So this goes down along the back of the property?
Correct,
The property,
yeah.
okay. Okay, and then it went to the design board on Monday, correct? I got some minutes here.
Yep.
And you were there, Kelly?
Yeah.
Kelly, I don't know if there's anything you wanted to debrief?
Ms. Reardon, yes, Howard Wittosh was the consent reviewer on Monday, and he made the compatibility criteria, and he requested that the applicants, when they do install the new fence, that they match it with this scalloped detail on top, which,
Actually, turn it this way so the
Oh,
camera.
sorry, yeah.
Then it's on the right way, okay. So the wood portion of the fence?
Yes,
They
would
want it
be-
more of the scallop, or is
I
that
thought-
considered dog-eared?
Either or. Yeah, it could be either.
Okay.
So yeah, and that's fine. We can, that's what we were planning to do.
Okay.
and then after, assuming, depending on what happens today, the project will go back to ABR consent for final.
Okay, yeah, because this is the fourth one. It says administrative approval is acceptable
Oh,
for the
that's right.
design of the fence following the staff hearing officer approval.
Yeah, and I forgot about that. That's true. He did say that.
Okay. All right, well, great, thank you. I'll open the public hearing, and seeing no one, I'll close it. I did go out to the site and saw big construction.
Lots of dirt being moved.
Yeah, it's going on. In terms of this request, I understand the necessity of it for two reasons. One, because you want to lower the building height as perceived from the public areas, and you have existing grade, and you need to secure it and cut out the existing. There's a slope with the wall and that. So, in terms of the retaining wall, that is necessary, and then the fence for two reasons. One, so dogs or kids don't run off and fall on
All
the
over
property.
the edge.
Yeah, and then just to provide the privacy and the separation between the two properties. And in this instance, if there is any visual or adverse visual effects, it would be to the property, your property itself. And a lot of these areas, with the exception of the parking area that's in between buildings, so the potential effects, any adverse visual is not really the right word, but that type of effects is minimal. So it is an appropriate improvement, and it's necessary to secure the development and provide privacy and safety for the neighbors. So I can make the findings outlined in the staff report. Staff didn't propose any conditions of approval, and for the reasons I stated, I don't need to add any conditions to enable myself to make the findings. You will be carrying forward what the ABR suggested or required. So with that, I'll approve your project. My action is appealable to the Planning Commission within 10 calendar days, and they also have oversight authority of all my actions, and if they felt this warranted additional discussion before them, they could call it up during that same 10-day appeal period, and if either of those would occur, Kelly would contact you. Okay?
Great.
Right, thanks.
Thank you very much.
I adjourn the meeting.